Hello, folks. How are we all doing? Link is in the private chat. I can't post it too. Let's try something. You'll have to copy paste and all that. I think maybe open it up in a new. It's not even letting me do that. It is what it is. It's a silly little system. Which doesn't even work, does it? Technical difficulties, yes, exactly. Because for whatever reason, it doesn't let me copy paste onto my own stream. Okay, right on. Hello, hello.
Hi.
Hello. Good
Hi there,
afternoon.
Zippo. Hi there, Ness something. You are my friends.
Yep.
Sorry about the delay.
No problem, Zippo. No. Oh, have these little hiccups, don't we?
Yeah, I don't know why it does that. It just does. It's silly.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh.
Hey guys.
Hey man.
Hello.
Hi, Blueshirt. You well?
I'm good, Thomas. How are you?
Good stuff. Yeah.
Hey.
Hey Chris, what's up, man?
How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good.
Right on. Hello, chat. It's great. Everybody's here. Nice.
Yeah, hi. Bud the Stud, Geezer, Hands, Knees and Toes, Soren Chan, Megan Arthur.
Yeah, hello
Hey
everybody.
guys.
I can't see the chat at the moment.
Logan Hall, HBA. Great to see you all. Max. Some new faces and a lot of old faces. Great to see you all.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's another thing that I think has been happening is avatars disappearing.
Yeah, it depends how I join. If I join on my computer, my avatar is there. If I'm on my phone, it's not. So.
Gotcha. Excellent. So.
Yeah, we're just joining on our phones. We wanted to, me and both Blueshirt and I wanted to just go stick with our book theme that we've been running with for the past couple of weeks. We've got another book to show.
Yeah,
I've got
a little show and tell.
Yeah. I've got a lovely one, which is a beautiful one, a book watches that spans over the 50s, 60s, and 70s. What called the golden age of avant-garde watchmaking and experimentation, which I'll just bring up for you. I'll just switch my camera around. Here we go. Retro books. Not retro books, retro watches. Now, this is a fantastic book, this one.
Here we go.
This is my book of the moment. It tells you about them in the foreword, how a lot of 60s and 70s styling is often a reference point for a lot of modern designers when they try and designing watches, and how they refer back to that sort of genre and for inspiration for a lot of the watches, and it's evident when you look at a lot of watches like the say the 2P01 or the Zenith A384, and it's evident how manufacturers are going to that styling. But some of the watches in here are just fascinating. There's some amazing watches to look at. Some real classically designed, real fascinating designs of watches.
I love that period of the 50s, 60s, and 70s in watchmaking. It's really fascinating stuff.
But yeah, this book goes through from, again, in alphabetical order. Some great pictures of really just when in the 70s, when they were really adventurous with the designs, and they really pushed the boundaries with design and came up with some really wacky, outlandish ideas for watch design. I mean, just look at that bracelet watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Wow.
it's an era where they were taking chances that, today I think a lot of people, even people that are into the hobby, would just discount as, crappy designs or, things that don't fit the mold of what horology should look like. So it's a great period where you get a lot of originality.
Yeah, people were really stepping out of the box at that time.
Mm-hmm. What's interesting is that if you look at that book and you look at these designs, they're a little bit more out there. You see where a lot of independents, of today's independents, are getting some of their inspiration from. Like the MB&Fs, the Your Work, all these
Sure.
companies.
Absolutely, yeah. Micro brands, and, as you say, the Urworks and the MB&Fs. Obviously taking cues from these wacky designs and these different ways of reading time as well. Flying hours and things like that, and these sort of watches with different bits that stick out so that the dials stick out from the cuff, and all sorts of amazing dials on these watches. Some really, really interesting stuff. These sort of really fascinating stuff. I've been hooked on this book at the moment. It's like a bracelet watch, Pierre Cardin one. And also when fashion designers started to first, like Pierre Cardin, first started to get involved with branding watches as well. So this has been my read for the past week. It's a brilliant one.
So which like
But-
2 or 3 did you find in there that you thought like, wow, like
Oh, I mean, look at that one. We know someone who's just bought one of these, don't we?
Yes, we do.
The Rolex Midas Cellini. We know, yeah, someone who's just got one of those. Wow.
yeah, that is a cool watch, especially when you get like the Greek vase box set that it came in. I mean, it was very extravagant, right?
Yes, for sure. And welcome, my friend Neil.
Hi,
Good to-
Neo. Yeah,
good to
great to
talk to
see
you.
you.
Hey, hi Neil.
Hey guys, hey everyone in the chat. I feel like there's people in the chat that want to join. I just have a feeling today.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, good. That's what we're here for.
Yep. Come on.
Yeah,
come on.
so this is my book of the day. It's book of the week, sorry. So this is called Retro Watches. It's by Josh Sims and Mitch Greenblatt, and the photographs are by Tyler Little. Absolutely brilliant one. It's a modern collector's guide.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great book.
Very nice.
Highly recommended.
Very cool.
Cool.
And I'm
All right.
wearing the Aragon on the Bastille strap as today. So that's my wristwatch check for today.
Very nice.
I think Blueshirt's got a book for us as well, haven't you, Blueshirt?
I do. This is called The Watch Book by Gisbert Brunner and Christian Pfeiffer Belly. This came out in 2015. Very interesting book. It starts off with brief introduction to the history of watchmaking. Just brief. But what is interesting about this, besides the excellent photography, is that every section, and it goes over some of the top brands, at least 5 years ago, but are still the top brands now. But everything is there's one section in English, and then you get the same thing in German, and then along with some really great photography, you get the article in French as well. So it's multilingual. Some really great. My iPhone isn't doing the pictures in here justice, but it just goes over brief history of all these brands, some of their traditional models, like here's Breguet's pocket watches, and then it goes through some of their stuff, their more modern stuff, and just nice. It's a great afternoon read and coffee table book, just to they even have some of the original advertising. It's just it's a fun book. With some great photography and just some interesting watches. Some of them nothing. It's not just all the popular stuff. There's some some offbeat stuff in here too. Like I said, it's just it's an interesting little read. You can knock this out in a day. I just really enjoyed it. I got this as a Christmas gift a couple years ago, and I really enjoyed it. And like I said, the macro photography is excellent. And it's all the major brands. Zenith, Vacheron. It's just really Really a nice book.
How many
If you want.
pages is that one?
It's like 256, so it's not, you know, it's not you know, a long read. It's just like I said, it's a coffee table book.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just it's some beautiful paddocks. Oh, I love that one. Love the 5905p. That's a beautiful, beautiful watch. And
Clam Walker. Yeah, I've got the compendium, the part 1 and part 2 together. It's giant. And yeah, highly recommend.
so that's it. Again, I highly recommend this. It's you know, it's a fun read with some great photography. So the watch book, and I guess I'll do a wristwatch check as well. And Thomas, you want to let them know the exciting news that we have while I do the wristwatch check?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, great.
That's the
yeah. Well, we've got
Parma
some
too.
very exciting news. We've got
the Parma, I should say.
We've
The
got
Aragon Parma.
some exciting news for the punters. We've got some giveaways happening, and
Thomas, you there?
yeah, can you hear me?
Can you hear him?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear Thomas.
We've got some.
Okay. I can't hear him. I guess
we've got some giveaways happening,
I
and
can't hear him now. So.
our first giveaway is going to be one of these watches. It's
All right,
going
well,
to be
that's the
an
watch.
Aragon-
Let me jump
an
on
Aragon
my
Parma.
computer so I can hear him.
Yeah, okay.
I'll be right
it's gonna
back, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, you
It's going
guys
to
are
be
talking over each other.
one of the watches that Blueshirt's just shown there. It's going to be an Aragon Parma, and we're giving it away to one of the punters. And we wanted to have some ideas from the punters, see if they wanted to give us some feedback on what sort of concept we should have the competition. Well, how would they, before we have the competition, how would they do the competition? Should we have a question and answer? Should they come on the show? I think that it should be something to do with the punters coming on the show.
So
Yeah, I like that idea.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
great idea. So what you're saying is that not only are we giving away a watch, but we're also asking people to come up with the way we're giving it away. So it sounds a bit lazy to me, but
Well,
we can go with
Do
that.
all the work for us.
it's been these are just initial. I just thought I'd give the audience a bit of participation to sort of help us along with the ideas. They don't necessarily have to come up with the idea. Just sort of I just found out about this, so I just thought we're not giving it away today. So I thought before we launch into a competition, maybe the punters wanted to give us some feedback on what sort of competition they'd go for. Would they like the punters to come on the show and do a collection review, or would they like to do a question and answer, or would they like to do would it be a question about horology, or would it be I don't know, what could they come up with before we think of something?
Yeah, like I kind of like that idea. Like if somebody were to come on and talk about their watch collection and stay on the program and be engaging, then if more than one person did it, we could raffle it off that day. But if we do it one every 5, you said some person gave us 5 of these, and we really need to thank that person. That might be one way of doing it.
Yeah, I mean, Smoke Eater's just come up with an idea. It could be a photo competition. It could be a best wrist shot on the outdoors. It could be something
Another
like
one that I
that.
like.
Yeah, that's cool. If we are doing multiple of these, right? All jokes aside, we can have multiple contests, right? Multiple
Sure, why not?
Sure.
ways of giving
sure.
out. So
Absolutely.
Can you hear me guys now?
Yeah, of course we can, Blueshirt.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry about
yeah.
that, Thomas. All of a sudden, I couldn't hear you before.
Yeah, it happens on phones sometimes when other people join. Yeah. So can hear you loud and clear now, anyway, Blueshirt.
Okay, good.
So,
Hey,
yeah.
Orange Hand, welcome.
Yeah, welcome on, Chan. Sorry.
Hey
about
guys,
that.
how's it going?
Good to see
Yeah,
you.
great. How are you?
good.
Doing well,
yeah,
doing well.
Megan
Yeah,
has two
great.
ideas. We could do a Q&A or a watch collecting strategy. People can come on and talk to us about that.
Mm-hmm. Excellent
Mhm.
idea.
Yep. I think what's cool is we just want to make it engaging, right?
Correct.
To
Involve everybody
include
in.
you guys.
Yep.
Thomas, where do we get these watches?
Oh, the prototypes have been sent to us from Oregon. So, yeah, we've been lucky enough to secure some of those. So, it's been been very lucky. Yeah.
You guys still in the chat? Welcome. Glad to have you on board, man. Big fan of your channel. It was a great day yesterday.
Yeah. Welcome, ID guy. Great to see you in chat.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even
everyone
see
else.
you were here.
Great.
Welcome, ID guy.
Yeah.
ID guy.
Great show. Brilliant show yesterday.
It was.
I loved
Geezer's got an idea. Maybe one contest could be a photo for the channel cover.
I need that.
it. Yeah. Possibly. All sorts of ideas. Keep them coming throughout the stream, guys. We'd love to hear them, and we'll take note of them. Be sure of that. Yeah.
Yeah, just start spitballing, and something will stick. I think
Good ideas.
a little bit of a collection review, and that'll be good enough to get on. I love seeing that everybody else's collections. There's some awesome stuff around here, so by all means, that's my.
Yeah, plus you get to you get to learn so much more by seeing everybody else's stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
But yeah, we could do we could do a different set of giveaway rules for each giveaway. We could do that. One for a cover picture, one for general watch photography, one for collection review, or participating live on the stream.
who is the troll in the chat? Is somebody being an idiot or what? Is it somebody we know, or just somebody who needs to?
What if instead of being somebody pretending producer Michael, what if this week it's producer Michael pretending to be somebody else? So ask nothing. If you have a great collection of Jersey Shore style shirts, type 1 in the chat, or no, type pie.
Ooh, there you go.
I mean, Megan's come up with a good one. She said the best book review to the punters. So best book that they can come up with if they one of the punters wants to come on the stream and recommend a book.
Excellent.
So if they want to recommend a book to the rest of us, and the best person to do a book review, that'd be a great one. Great suggestion, Megan.
You need me to jot these down, Thomas, or are you doing that?
No, I'll go over them later on
Okay.
and take notes. Yeah. So just
Okay.
keep the ideas coming, guys. Just drop them in the chat, and I'll take note and
And we could probably stage these, right? We could say, okay, the first watch is going to be next week. Oh, we could come next week and we could say, okay, here's the first watch. It's going to be this contest. Then in a week, we're going to do another. We're going to do this contest, so people could prepare maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. I mean, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're very, very fortunate. So,
Matt Max has a pretty interesting idea here in the chat. He's saying, how about a Jeopardy-style watch trivia show?
ooh,
Ooh.
That might be interesting.
Yeah, I like that.
That's
Yeah.
ambitious. That's
That
ambitious.
is.
We could make the questions like super hard and obscure.
Yeah,
and-
really, really.
If we
hard.
do that, I know who's going to be Alex Trebek.
Yeah.
And that's going to be you, Anna, something.
I think you're going to win, NS. You
No,
winning.
we're excluding ourselves from
You
this.
haven't got an
right?
arrogant yet, have you?
No. We're this is for the people that participate in the chat. So
Yep, exactly.
I might go on eBay and try to find some of those old Tritium arrogant ones because I've always liked those.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's a thought.
But that's a good one, Matt Max. I like that. That could be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the one for the cover photo.
All right. All right. I'll have to do that one then.
Yeah,
For
we can
sure.
make it all up, eh?
So I'll take you through a couple of watches that have caught my eye over the past week. A few micro brands.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the first one was LIV watches. These are some chronographs that may catch your eye. I know you're a chronograph man, Zippo. This is a micro brand that's aiming to deliver Swiss-made men's timepieces at an affordable price point compared to big brand alternatives. And it's the GX chronograph range. These are running. We got a backdrop to the screen.
Yeah. And a cool video.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's nice, Thomas. I like that.
Now.
If you just press later on that. Get rid of those.
Jeez.
Wow, they're really pushing it.
Yeah.
But a
If you
cool looking dial.
Just scroll down. Just scroll down on this. And here we've got this group of watches, which are the GX chronograph range. They're running ETA caliber 7750s
Mm-hmm.
with a 3-hand hour, minute, and chronograph seconds, and a 30-minute subdial and a running second subdial with a 42-hour power reserve. And they're quite interesting pieces because they're coming from a very reasonable price point. I mean, this is about £750 or euros.
All right,
sorry.
so a little over
Which comes out to-
$1,000.
Yeah, comes out 1,300 Canadian. And very, very contemporary looking sporty pieces with that
I like-
red pusher.
I love the pumper style pushers. Very nice.
Yeah.
It's orange, which makes it even cooler.
Yeah, there's some below that as well if you just scroll further down.
Mm-hmm.
Some
Now,
yellow-
orange hand does an orange pusher count as being extra special as an orange hand?
Yeah, I think we can make that work.
Okay, good.
I mean, they do have an orange hand as well.
They do.
Just wanna point that out.
Yeah, so these are some interesting chronographs that caught my eye. And then I mean, you can click on one and see the specs if you want.
The rubber strap is very nice.
Yeah.
You like
Yeah,
that?
these are nice looking watches.
Yeah.
They really are.
Automatic as well, so using the 7750.
So that's a workhorse.
Yeah, workhorse movement like we discussed on the live stream last night.
Yep.
And Orange Hand, you weren't there for that discussion, were you? So
No, I was just in the chat, but it was great. That was some terrific stuff. These
it was.
these watch chats are getting so good that I have little time for anything else. That's the only problem.
That was the Clive
Yeah,
stream?
that was the Clive stream last
Oh, I
night.
missed it too.
Yeah, it was right after the Beg stream.
Yeah, that's a shame.
When we got off with Archie, I was like, Clyde, you should go on. He's like, oh, okay. So it turned out really, really. We had some good a good discussion last night.
Nice.
I love that it's after the big stream we had good discussion.
Yes.
Yeah. Now the next brand was really caught my eye, and me and ID guy had a little discussion on Saturday and Friday and Saturday about how good field watches were as a great introduction to the hobby. And,
just before we leave this LIV, Thomas, is this a Canadian brand?
I'm not sure. I think it's. I'm not sure where they're from, to be honest with you. I couldn't research that far enough. I didn't get to where they're from, to be honest with you. Miami, Florida. Florida, so they're coming out of Florida.
Sorry about that.
No, it's fine.
The phone was ringing.
Yeah.
So what was this? Where's the brand from?
These are coming from Florida. These ones.
Oh,
these
okay.
LIV ones.
Okay, cool. Florida's nice.
But yeah, the next brand was a field watch, and I had this discussion with ID guy about what good field watches are as an introduction to horology. They're not too big. They're very legible. They're a great entry point to most people, who want to. They can be a one and done watch.
Mm-hmm.
And this brand, Mitch Mason, I thought was a beautiful watch. This one, the Chronicle Field Watch, stays true to classic proportions with these modest 36.5 case size and substantial 43.5 lug-to-lug length. It strikes a perfect balance between style and comfort for all wrist sizes. Inspired by the military field watches of World War II, Mitch Mason have changed a straightforward case and gone with a three-dimensional dynamic profile that grabs your attention at all angles, so they say. 36.5 millimeters, 200 meter water resistance with screw down crown. It's got a Miyota 9039 automatic movement with 42-hour power reserve, hacking and hand winding. It's got a sandwich dial with the numerals at 12, 3, 6, and 9. It's got an engraved case back with a coat of arms synonymous with military theme of the watch. And the top grain leather strap has stitches by artisans for solid construction. It's got 4 dial colours, which are the steel blue, the jet black, the desert sand, and field grey. And the Mitch Mason watch launch on Kickstarter in September. So the retail for the watch after this campaign will be $499. However, pre-orders are available at $379, which is a discount of $120 on this early bird offer. Mm-hmm. So, again, a great price point if you want to get in there, especially on the early bird offer of $379. I think if you scroll down a bit more, Zippo, you'll see the different dial options.
I like the sandwich. I like that they're adding a sandwich dial to a field watch.
Yeah,
it's great, isn't it? So there you see the steel blue and the jet black, and then just below that you'll see 2 more dial colors: the desert sand and the field grey.
Very interesting.
I love that case design with the sort of squared off bit of the lugs.
Mm-hmm.
Squared off lugs where the strap fits, snugly in without being revealed too much.
And Megan's saying that she could get the creator to come on the stream.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, Megan. That'd be great.
I like this case. It's obviously not like a case that they just grabbed off the shelf.
Right, yeah, it's different.
It's lovely, isn't it? Really styled. It's really angular case, but small as well, so it fits all wrist sizes at 36.5 millimeters. I think it's a lovely size.
Right.
It's really nice. It's not too big, but the look to look length of 43.5. It's just the right sort of size to fit most wrists. So I love the look of this one.
I like the handset. It looked kind of like a cathedral handset. But
little
then when
bit,
you look
yep.
closely at the hour hand, it's I really like how they broke it up. Is that their logo? What is that on the hour hand?
I'm not sure. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, they've sort of put some sort of insignia on the hour hand. They've put some sort of logo on the hour hand, haven't they? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it is. I'm on their site. If you look at the case back, they have the same kind of motif on their coat of arms type of thing, right?
Right.
So, yep.
And I just noticed in the chat, is there a Moser dealer in Calgary now?
There is.
Wow.
Yep. So don't go spending all your money there. Come on.
I'm gonna look at what their hours are.
Is
this a sapphire crystal, Thomas?
Yes.
With the Miyota movement?
Yeah, and there's a screw down case back, which is engraved with this coat of arms.
Very interesting. I love the case shape, how it's evacuated out a little bit. It's very interesting.
It's lovely, isn't it? Really nice watch. Really nice watch. And just something smaller. If you've got a lot of dive watches or you've got a lot of bigger watches, I mean, you want something smaller, it's a great option. And get there quickly while the early bird offer's on.
Right. Yeah, that's always important.
Always a bonus, yeah.
And it probably wears a little bigger than 36, just given that case shape with the thicker lugs, the more kind of
I would hope so.
Presence. Yeah,
because that's at least for me, that could be a little bit too small, but I'd be interested in seeing one.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't beat a good field watch.
No, not at all. I mean,
it's so versatile.
Lots of people doing field watches at the moment. Smith's doing field watches with their W10, and I mean, Mitch Mason doing this one. I bought one from that Radia Dosey field watch, the quartz one. That's a field watch with a nice case sort of case on the outside, frame on the outside of the case. But yeah, field watches are great watches. Like I said, I had this little discussion with ID guy, and we were saying what great watches field watches are.
Field watches are probably a lot of people's first. I don't want to say high, really luxury watch, but like slightly expensive watch without them actually knowing what it is.
Absolutely, 100%. That was my first. I bought a Hamilton khaki officers, and that was my first jump into, the lower mid-range of watches, and it was a great watch. I loved it.
Yeah, a lot of these brands like Hamilton or, even some quartz watches, they make a lot of field type watches. Even you could almost, even though it isn't, the old classic Seiko 5 is kind of field-ish, right? Especially with the strap that it comes on. So I think it holds a special place in a lot of collectors' hearts, right? Because it might be, not for everyone, but for a lot of people, it might be what they started with.
Yeah, so the next one was a really fascinating watch. This one is Fugue watches. This is a new French-based micro brand. They're offering a unique watch with a modular interchangeable case. The Chronostas trilogy. If you just want to scroll to the bottom, Zippo. Oh, have you just passed it? Just go up a second. No, no. Sorry, keep scrolling down.
It's really weird. My StreamYard stream. Oh, my YouTube stream finally caught up to my StreamYard.
Keep scrolling down, Zippo. Yeah, down more.
Yeah, the comments are delayed, on the real stream.
Yes, on the StreamYard, they come out. There's a delay as opposed to
if you press view more,
YouTube.
Just at the bottom. No, at the bottom of the watches where it says view more. In the middle, view more. That's it, and just keep scrolling a second. Keep going. Sorry about this. Keep going. Right there. Just stop on that one on the left. And click on that one. Yeah. So this Chronostas Black Metal Trilogy set. Now this one is available with a choice of several dial options, but I think there's a 4 at present and features a 1950s. If you just want to scroll down, I think it shows you a video of this one. This one with the cases being changed. And this one's a modular there. It just shows just above you, just past the video.
This one here?
Yeah, it's a modular case system. So it's there's a trilogy set available with a choice of several dial options and features a 50s, the 60s, and the 70s inspired case shapes that fit around the Solito SW200 powered movements. And the movement features hours, minutes, and central seconds plus a date function at 6 o'clock. The cases are polished and brushed finishing and include a one-piece strap that passes through the case. They also come with black pearl-on strap. There's an original 60s inspired Chronostas case design, a slimmer silhouette inspired by classic dress watches found in the 50s, and a more futuristic interpretation inspired by automotive designs of the 70s. So basically, as you can see in the video, you can swap the case with the movement and change up the design of the case. So you can take out the movement and change to a different style of case.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, what do people think about this?
I've seen something along this line with the modular, those mint watches, and that you could swap the bezel and whatnot very easily, not the case like this. I dig it.
Parmigiani had a model that was like this, except that the case was sort of in 2 pieces, right? It would wrap around it. I guess that would be a little bit more secure. And you could take one of their watches. I forget the name of the model. Maybe I can find it later. But it would actually, you would be able to convert your watch, your wristwatch, into a pocket watch. It was a pretty cool concept.
I like the Beauvais.
Yes, yeah, except that it would really be like a totally separate outside case. I can find it later. We can look at it.
Yeah, but if you just scroll back up now, I'll have a look at the watch. And so they're the different case shapes you get. You get the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s looking one.
I don't know how I feel about the dial, though, staying the same. That's the thing, right? Like, I'd always been looking at the same dial.
Right.
Yeah, that's a different case shape, and that would satisfy some need for difference. But
yeah, I kind of know what you're saying, Neo.
I'm guessing that'll be the next thing to happen. The exact same case with just a different dial design on.
Mm-hmm.
They'll come up with that, I'm sure. Well, I'm not sure, but I bet they would.
Right.
It would make good sense.
So that's the 70s style case on that one. You can see it's got more streamlined too. That's the 50s one.
Mm-hmm.
A slimmer style case.
Interesting concept, Thomas.
60s one. Yeah, I was really taken by it. I thought it was really interesting.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like a one watch collection, a true one watch collection.
Yeah.
The only thing is, I wouldn't want to hear the pontiff try and pronounce the brand name.
Yeah.
Yes.
He'd probably just have one word for it, so we'll just move on.
Mm-hmm. So I posted the last link I posted in the private chat. Flippin is the Parmigiani Transforma that was like this. I don't know if we want to look at it before we go on to the news.
Yeah, why not?
Just for fun, right?
Yeah.
So this was one of, I mean, look, I like Parmigiani, I really do. But this was one of the 5 million things that they've tried that hasn't worked. So they tend to come up with a lot of things that never go anywhere, and that was one of them. And that's very interesting because it was part of their. It looks like their Tondas, right, that are a little bit more sporty watches. But you were able to convert it to a pocket watch. That case opens up, and you can put it in the pocket watch case for all those times that you wished you had a pocket watch. I'm sorry, I really like the brand. I swear, just I like to tease them.
At least they're trying different stuff.
They are.
Yeah.
Credit for that, right?
And this is probably a little more solid than, let's say, Bill's Bove.
Yes, yeah, probably. Yeah, so it was an interesting watch. When I saw the food one before, I thought this was interesting. No. Mackenzie can make jokes. It's all in good fun.
Chat, please.
Yeah, I think Clyde got his feelings hurt.
So that's a retrograde date?
Yep, retrograde date. Yeah, and like you saw, they made a few different models. A chronograph. I'm pretty sure this one might be an annual calendar. I don't think they made triple calendars, but
Deport TGV 2020 is asking who's bankrolling Parmigiani.
That's a complicated question. That's the Sandoz family. But they do have. They did sell a part of Vaucher to Hermes, so it's kind of like a bit of a complicated situation now. But it's the Sandoz family, and it's very interesting. And I know we don't want to do a whole show about that, but the family, the Sandoz family, the new generation, there's a great article about how they are getting very tired of all of the foundation's business endeavors that lose money year after year after year. So I wouldn't say Parmigiani is not like at risk, but the powers that be are starting to get a little bit unhappy about performance.
So can we assume that Parmigiani is not making money?
Well, they've admitted that they're not making money. They've come out and said so.
Okay.
But there's a couple of things, right? Parmigiani themselves, their watches don't sell super well, and the Vaucher manufacturer, right? It's them, right? But it's their watch movement making arm of the company. They've been set up to make tons of movements a year, right? They kind of want to be the high-end ETA type of thing, right? That would supply to a lot of boutique watchmakers, and they do supply some pretty cool ones. Like they do supply some movements to Richard Mille, Hermes, obviously, but quite a bit of companies. So the way they had described themselves is they're set up to make about 30,000 movements a year, right? That's how they would want to be profitable. But they sell 3,000 watches a year in a good year, and they don't sell that many movements to third parties. So they're really behind on what they should be volume wise. So, but it's a great company. So.
Yeah, I love Parmigiani.
So if we want to move to the news, there's caution everyone that this week was a very, very light news week, but there were a couple of things that got announced. The first link I posted, Flippin, is Vacheron Constantin is having a vintage sports watch exhibition in Singapore. So I don't know if anybody happens to be in Singapore or traveling there.
Wow.
In their boutique there, they will be displaying a lot of their classic 222s. Those are the watches that sort of came right before the overseas. And it's called the 222 because it was made for the they came out on the 222nd anniversary of the brand.
Okay.
Yep. So they're watches that actually you used to be able to get good deals on, but now they've shot up in prices. So they're going to do a small mini exhibition of those at their boutique. So little bit of news. The other bit of news in the sort of the same vein, Watches and Wonders announced what might be the first big show post-pandemic. It would be in Shanghai in September. I'm saying what could be or what would be because I think we're all we all know that things could change 2020.
Quickly.
Yes.
Very much so.
Assuming that tons of stuff goes perfectly from now until then, they would have a sort of smaller scale Watches and Wonders show with 11 brands. It's not the 30 brands that they usually would have in Geneva. It's just 11, but still, right?
It's better than nothing.
Yeah, and it's, A. Lange & Söhne, Bon Mercier, Cartier, IWC. It's mostly Richemont brands, but also Parmigiani is going to be there, and Pernell. I don't know if people are familiar with Pernell, but they make really, really expensive sport watches, like $400,000 double tourbillon, things like that. So interesting. We'll see. I think everybody's crossing their fingers that September is a good time of the year.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, whatever you might think of those brands, let's hope that things go well at that point. in time.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be a nice nod to normalcy to see something like this happen again.
Yep. Hmm.
I'm still keeping my fingers crossed for Watch Time New York in October, but I'm not betting my mortgage on it happening. So,
No,
but
no,
we'll see.
It's not good.
Yep.
Yeah. We're gonna be so fucked by October.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, look, guys. Let's be
one
positive.
day at a time.
Live in hope. Yeah.
Yep.
They could try moving everything to New Zealand.
Yes.
They're doing
Don't
fine.
give them any ideas, Flippin. Come on. They have to take care of us too. So the next link that I had is Longines came out with a new version of their like aviation driver style watch.
Navigation A7, wasn't it? Yeah.
I like this a lot. I
do,
really
yeah.
like this.
Yeah, the new one, the original version at those cathedral hands, right, looked very pocket watch-ish. This new one looks more modern, but it still keeps the classic feel. I thought it was a cool one. That's the old one, actually.
I don't know if I'm in the right page or not here. I don't think I am.
Or here.
Yep. No, you're there. That's it.
First link.
Just press search on the.
Yeah, you see the black ones there.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If you press search
I'm in YouTube, not in StreamYard. There we go.
On the Google tab up above Zippo. When you go back, press search on the Google tab above, right at the top.
Yeah, it's because you put in the you put in the address in the Google search.
Okay. Oops. Hang on. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful?
Gorgeous. Yeah. It reminds me of the Longines military that you like, the Blueshirt, the one you brought up in a previous stream. Yeah.
Yep.
Is it the military 1938 as well? Or was it?
Yep. That's exactly it, Tom's. The military 1938.
Yeah, it looks great with that black dial. I much prefer it with the black dial to the white dial, to be honest with you.
Agreed.
Yeah, looks. I know it's weird to say that about that watch, but it looks a little bit more modern, right? So.
But I love it's got the the same offset as the Vacheron Historique 1921 American.
Yeah, it's got that same angle, hasn't it? And then the mono-pusher chronograph at the top. Yeah.
And look, this one, the subdials aren't cutting off any of the Arabics.
Correct, which drives me nuts, Neo. I hate that.
Is that a pet peeve of yours?
It is. It is. I like my Arabics full and bold and complete. But a mono pusher chronograph, this looks like, it's so unique. I really like it. You got to tip your hat to Longines. They're trying. They really are.
Yeah, Dan Tillerman says it's like a pocket watch on a strap, and it is. It's from that transitional period where pocket watches were being put onto, were having lugs attached to them, and were being put on straps. It's interesting. That sort of trench, just post World War I trench period where watches were being started being worn on the wrist.
What are your thoughts on this, NS?
I like it. I think the original was cool. I did find the original looked a little bit too old timey pocket watch, right? I hate to say that, but I find this one looks maybe more modern. It's a cool watch for what it is. I think I like the lugs. I like the case. You know, again, Longines, they make stuff that's pretty cool these days. I find the price is right. You can get them at a discount, so it's a fun watch.
It's not hot horology, but it's just I like that they're giving a nod to their past and doing some slight update on it, but still vintagey and something that's usable and modern.
And it was a pilot's watch, I mean, wasn't it? So that's why it's so big.
Yeah,
probably worn over the leather jacket again, like a lot of the pilot's watches.
And I just want to say, Cockney Watch Dealer is asking us, we like it so much, so we're going to buy one, right? Actually, no, we're all buying Blue Bays because that's what people who appear on YouTube do.
That's the flavor of the moment.
Yeah, YouTube actually called us and said, we have to buy one or else they're not going to let us on anymore. So, yeah, that's what we're all doing. We're all doing that after the stream.
I love that.
But if you want a column wheel chronograph for not a lot of money, then Longines is the way to go. We're talking under $2,000.
Yep. And the final bit of news that came out this week, and I think it's a cool segue into something we want to do in the future on another stream. It's the GLC Master Ultra Thin Kingsman Knife Watch. It's quite a big, quite a long name, but it's the new watch that uses their classic ultra thin manual wind movement. And this is a special edition for the next Kingsman movie. I know it sounds a bit corny, but actually GLC does a lot of stuff with cinema in general. They fund film restoration. They have a lot of ambassadors that are actors, obviously, that a lot of people know. And they got together with another Richemont property, which is Mr. Porter, to make this special edition for the next Kingsman movie. So it's a really cool watch. It uses the 849 movement, which is really, really thin, and that you may have seen in Vacheron Constantin watches or Audemars Piguet or other great watches. It's a really cool movement, manual wind, super, super thin. But what's really cool about this super thin movement, and I know that new super thin movements like the, like the one in the Octo Finissimo are very reliable these days and rugged, but this was one of the very earliest, very rugged, everyday wear, ultra thin movement. So,
is this because Megan's asking? This was $30,000, if I'm remember correctly.
Yeah, 30 or 28, something like that. So it's not
not
cheap.
Inexpensive. Yeah.
No, yeah, not cheap. It is very limited. I think 100 pieces. And unfortunately, I think this is like a lot of the very popular boutique editions. Like the Geophysic boutique edition or those Reverso boutique editions.
Right.
It's probably not going to go with steep discounts. They're probably going to sell out pretty quickly. So it's not something that you'll easily find at a discount or in the secondary market. I mean, who knows? We can all hope.
Right.
But it's a cool watch. Look, I know it's not what everybody's into, but it's a cool watch. Very special case
One of 100.
design. So it's, it's a fun watch.
This is I would rather have this over any color chart I've ever seen.
Well, I mean, this is very different, right?
Correct.
It's very thin.
Yeah.
It really is a more classical watch, right? Like the old Vacheron Ultra Plat, the really, really thin watches. It's a really, really cool classic watch. Maybe overpriced, but look, at the end of the day, they're in it to make money, and if they sell them, they sell them. So, but the reason why I said this would be a good segue into an idea we had for another stream. Um, we thought it would be cool at some point to make a stream about movie watches, right? Where we would bring up a bunch of watches from movies, and we would also ask the people in the chat to bring up their favorite movie watches. So, we're not going to do that today, obviously, but at some point in the near future, that's probably something we're going to do. So, the last watch I wanted to bring up to sort of tease this was on a previous stream. I don't remember if it wasn't one of these streams or maybe a Rich Buddy stream or something like that. Somebody was talking about Doxa, and they talked about what watch was in the movie Jaws. And those were actually Alsta watches.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yep.
I put in the link there. So I thought, we quickly look at that just for a minute. Because a few years ago, they were reissued. So you can actually buy them new, and they look a lot like the original ones. And they're not priced too much. And look, this is definitely not everyone's cup of tea, but it's the watch from the movie Jaws. And what's really cool is that they had stopped making that really, I'll come out and say it, really weird looking bracelet. But that's what was in the movie.
Correct.
And who knows where they got that bracelet, but they actually reissued the bracelet as well. So you can get it on a normal strap, or you can get it on that bracelet.
Yeah, it's like a rally style bracelet.
Yeah,
and this is the watch that Richard Dreyfuss wore in Jaws.
Yep. So cool watch.
What's the name of this channel? But it's the Irish New Yorker rock guy who's living in Venice. Timeless Watches or something like that.
Timeless Watch channel. Yeah.
Yeah, I love his channel. He's coming up with an episode of movie watches as well.
Cool.
Yep.
So,
I sent him. There's John Wick and Atomic Blonde. Hopefully, we'll be in that.
Nice.
Here's a Jeopardy question for you. Which two brands of watches were in the movie, the Steve Zissou movie?
There's the Vostok.
Yeah,
right?
there's the Vostok.
The other, I don't know. I don't remember another brand, although I really like that movie.
The other one, he's got a GMT. But I thought it was funny that there's a GMT, a Rolex GMT, and a Vostok, and the Vostok one is pretty cool.
Yeah, and that Vostok really gained a following after that movie. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, really nice looking watch.
That bracelet reminds me of the Zenith ladder bracelet on the new A384 reissue.
Yeah, it does a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's got that 70s vibe. Very cool.
Yep.
And that's something. What was the JLC in Doctor Strange? I feel like that was my favorite movie watch of the last few years.
Agreed, Orange Head. I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's weird that you bring that up because I was reading about that watch like 2 weeks ago, and I'm totally blanking on it. I really
feel like
don't
it was
remember.
a perpetual calendar or something. It was definitely a calendar, but I just don't know if it was.
And now I'm even wondering why I was reading up on that watch.
It was the Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Ultra Thin Perpetual.
Yeah. And well, the actor in there, right, Benedict
Cumberbatch, yep.
yeah, is an endorser for JLC or ambassador, however you want to call it. And it's he wears a lot of those watches, which is it's a bit of a weird watch for an action hero to wear.
But it's a beautiful watch.
It is, and they did make those versions with the hand done enamel dials with the guilloche. And those are really, really cool, but super expensive. But the regular model one is actually pretty affordable for a perpetual calendar. So if, especially on the secondary markets, if somebody ever wants a really thin perpetual calendar, that's a good choice.
Yeah, it's a stunning looking watch. I really like it a lot.
They did such a great job weaving it into the storyline of the movie as well. I mean, the fact that the whole movie is a play on time and controlling time, and the broken crystal at the end of the movie. It was terrific. It was you couldn't ask for anything else if you were GLC.
Yeah, they got their money's worth on that one for sure. Orange Hand.
Yeah, they're in a lot of the Marvel movies.
Yeah, Tony Stark. Yeah, he had. I think Tony Stark had the like an extreme lab or some sort of carbon special editions or something like that. Yep, he had a lot of watches in there.
Would that have been part of his own collection? It probably is now.
It is. He did an interview with a fashion magazine, I want to say. What's the men's fashion magazine? Whatever. Yes, it might be that.
GQ?
I think it's the GQ interview. You can see it on YouTube, and he talks about all of his watches, and he just jokes around, and he does have in his collection that JLC that he had for those movies.
So here's a tip for some watch spotting on Netflix, if anyone's interested in some Rolex. Modern Family. My son's gotten really into Modern Family, and we watched almost the entire series over this pandemic. And Jay, Al Bundy, I can't remember the actor's name, but he plays Jay on the show. He wears a whole slew of amazing Daytonas, some vintage pieces. There's loads of Submariners, so that's what I do when they watch Modern Family.
Cool.
Yeah, there's lots of watches on that show. It's great.
That's probably all of his personal watches, right? The guy, they were saying how much money he makes just on the syndication that the syndication money that he gets for what was that show that he was on when he was younger?
Married with Children.
Married with Children.
I don't remember how many millions he makes every year just for that.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the best shows of all time.
Yeah.
So, Zippo, I was wondering if you had 73 Maths pictures to hand.
I do. Is he still in the chat? I saw him earlier.
Yep, he's here.
Yep, he's right there.
So, for everyone in the chat, we've got a little collection review coming up, which is a 73 Maths watch collection.
All right, you want to come on 73 Math while we
everyone knows him?
Yeah.
Tear your collection apart?
No, we'll leave him in the chat while we tear his collection apart, and
then we'll invite him on for a post-mortem.
Invite him on for a bit of post-mortem, yeah.
Can do it.
So while you bring those up, apparently Cockney Watch Dealer likes to watch TV, freeze frame it. And I assume that he does that on an old CRT 28-inch, curved glass TV. And he likes to look at the watches from shows with a loop. So that sounds like a great hobby, guy.
Ah, wonderful.
Nice.
I think having a loop would be key in that situation, wouldn't it?
Yes. But then are you, like on those old screens, you just look at the pixels though, right?
Right. All you see is a bunch of dots.
Yeah. You might want to get that checked, Cockney Watch Dealer. Yeah. That might be a problem.
Yeah, and he's probably just using a 5x loop and not a 15x loop at that point.
Yeah, probably.
Hey, we've seen that Coke bezel before.
So he's given us a little description. The 73 map has been very considerate and given us a little write-up of his watches. So I'll start with the Rolex Explorer 2 on the screen. Or do you want to do this, Blueshirt?
I was just going to ask if I can, since
you seeing as you've got one of these, you go ahead and start.
I have the latest version of it, the 216570. This is a Rolex Explorer 2 16570 from 2013. 73 MAF wrote, I'd always liked the look of the Explorer 2 Polar. I had a white 36mm date chest at the time. I preferred white dials with Cyclops as the date wheel matched the dial. So in my mind, the Cyclops is not that obvious. Which I purchased. So he purchased this from a local pre-owned dealer. I returned to that dealer and asked if they had the Polar 16570. I specifically wanted a later model with the 3186 movement, and he said he would try and find one. Anyway, around 6 months later, January of 2019, he got a call on a late G model. And the warranty card was dated 2013, and asked if he was interested. And he told them yes, that he was. He saw the watch and did the deal. So he traded in his date just for the Explorer 2. I subsequently found out, after watching one of AC3's videos, that the dial on my Explorer 2 is known as the thin frame dial, the last dial produced. He loves wearing this watch in the summer. The white dial just pops on a sunny day. And I couldn't agree with him more. It certainly does. It's one of the most legible watches that I know of. Next to my Speedy, they go 1 and 2 for legibility. The Polar Explorer 2. It looks nothing like any other Explorer. This is the 40mm version. So you have the red GMT hand. The later one, the 42mm, has the orange GMT hand. This is a very, very popular watch. Archie had one. Austin Daniels has one. A bunch of YouTube people have it. It's a great, solid watch. This one is in excellent condition. All the black paint on the bezel is still in there. Doesn't look like it's been abused too much. It's just a great, under the radar Rolex.
It is, yeah. It's a lovely watch.
And then a lot of people who love the Explorer 2, they want this version of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very popular at the moment. I don't want to keep bringing him up, but I have to give credit where credit is due. Archie, when he got his, this was the dog. Nobody wanted this watch. It was the dog of the range, and you could get really good deals on it.
And to that point, the fact that the warranty card on 73 MAFs was signed 2013. That's 2 years after the 42 millimeter was, that this watch was replaced by the newer model, and it was still in an AD.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kind of amazing by today's standards, where they don't last 2 days.
Exactly. Exactly.
Those 40 millimeter proportions just look great on that wrist shot there. It just looked great for you, 73 MAF, I think. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, it's a really cool watch. I think that, what I still like about the Explorer 2, even the newer one, it still looks like a tool watch.
Exactly.
And maybe that's because of the stainless steel bezel. But it really still looks like what I think a classic Rolex sports watch should look like. Kind of like the Explorer 39 as well, or 36. But yeah, it's a really cool watch. And, it's got a GMT function. They come in really cool colors. I think those and the newer ones, the 42s as well, are really cool watches. If it didn't have a Cyclops, it would be the perfect sports watch from Rolex.
And we have 33 map is live with us now, so please tell us all about it, man.
Can you hear me okay?
We can.
Yeah.
Welcome aboard.
Say that again?
Good to have you aboard.
Yeah, cheers, thanks. Yeah, I mean, I've always liked this one, and NS touched on the subject of the Cyclops, and I actually prefer this because the date window is white, and also the obviously the dial is white, so the Cyclops is not as obvious as if it was a black dial with a white date window.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yep.
I mean, yeah, I had a white date just before this, and I kind of traded it in for this one. It was just too good condition to sort of ignore, really. So it was pretty good. And I think Clive has talked about it yesterday when he talked about sort of Rolex sort of dial changes and what have you, the subtle dial changes. Because this one is a thin frame dial, so the 12 marker, the 6 marker, the 9 is darker than the other plots. I don't know whether you can tell from that photo. So it's great, and it's not too shiny for me, if you know what I mean. Yep.
It's the last watch. It's the last Rolex GMT that does not have a ceramic bezel. We'll have to wait and see. Next year is the 50th anniversary of the Explorer 2, so there's a lot of speculation that they might give it a ceramic bezel, and but we'll have to wait and see. But it sets this watch apart. Like Ennis something was saying, it still looks like a tool watch. And that's what makes it so attractive to me.
And it's great in the summer because of the white dial. It's
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And as you get older, like myself, legibility is key, and it's probably my most legible watch.
Yeah. I mean, my wrist is 17 centimeters, so I'm kind of restricted by obviously the size of the watch, basically. It's, people say, oh, it's too big or it's too small. It's all relative, isn't it? It's basically what suits you the best.
Exactly. And that 40 millimeter looks perfect on your wrist.
Yeah,
perfect.
The 40 millimeter is pretty much
your sweet spot.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Well, awesome that you were able to get a 3186 movement 73.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, it's 3186. It's a late G serial, so it would have been made in 2010, I believe. But this one was bought in 2013, so it must have been just stuck in a shop somewhere. somebody came in and didn't want the new one, and so yeah. But it's good. It's, as I say, it's in pretty good condition, really.
Mm-hmm. It looks like it.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful watch. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yep.
So
What do we got next, Flippin?
Oh, let's see here. If I can scroll around. Nope, wrong. There you go.
Right, we have the Rolex Explorer 114270. This is a 2005 model. And 73MAF says, I had a phone call from the local dealer where I'd traded my Datejust for the Explorer 2, and he said he'd recently received a 36mm Explorer in a trade, and wondered if I'd be interested in taking a look. I went along not thinking I'd be interested. When I saw it, that changed. Lovely little watch, extremely comfortable on the wrist. He gave me a great deal on the watch. It was serviced by Rolex in 2010, and the previous owner had then put the watch away and had not worn it, so the condition was excellent. It's going to get it serviced by an independent this year. Now I have the Explorer 1 and Explorer 2 combo meal deal. So,
just like me, 73 MAF.
Exactly.
Got the Explorer and the Explorer 2.
Yeah, that's why I didn't really have any intention of picking this up, but when I tried it on and looked at the dial, I just thought, it's quite a small watch, obviously, by today's standards, but with the solid end links, it's very comfortable, and I think this is probably one I will leave to my daughter, because I think she would be able to sort of carry this one off, really. So,
oh, that's lovely. Yeah,
that's I'd probably keep this one till I die.
Yeah. It's such a great all around, under the radar Rolex, be it the older 36 mil or the new 39 mil. It can be your everyday watch. It can be a sports watch. It can be a dress watch. It does everything so well.
Yeah.
And
again,
go ahead.
It's a tool watch, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Again, there's apart from sort of the bezel, which is polished, it's all brushed apart from the sides and the bezel, really. So it's it's one of those that nobody will sort of bat an eyelid at, or
no,
it's not going to blind anyone from the other side of the room, is it?
Your daughter will be able to carry this off wonderfully, I would imagine.
For sure.
Just the right size, like you say, 36 mil.
Yeah, this is another one of the Rolexes that I really like. I think they're really cool. Like you said, they also look like a tool watch. They're not too flashy, and they're a great watch. The 36 and the 39 are. I know it's a black dial, but it's very easy to read because the actual dial itself is pretty big for the watch.
Mm-hmm.
They're cool watches. I think they're very underrated. Although every single steel sports watch by Rolex now is hard to get, but this is the kind of watch that I think if you buy, people should not look at this like a beginner's watch or whatever.
No, not at all.
Yeah, it's a really cool watch you can buy and keep forever, and you'll be happy with, and dress up, dress down. It's a really cool watch.
Yeah, I mean, Giza has the perfect statement here. Explorer can be a staple in anyone's collection.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I have to imagine a lot of people have it as a one-piece collection.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
One and done.
It's the perfect one and done watch.
Yeah, and I think I like dates on watches, right? I'm not against having a date wheel or anything like that, but don't let that stop you from having a Rolex Explorer 36 or 39. You can get the date on your phone anywhere. It's without the dates. It's such a clean dial.
It's
such a
wonderful
beautiful watch.
three-handed, wonderful three-handed watch.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I call the 36 Explorer the L McPherson. There's a wonderful picture of L McPherson wearing this.
Really?
And, yeah, stunning photo.
Ah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like it's a little like the Nina Rint in Universal Genève, but Al McPherson with the 36 Explorer.
Mm-hmm.
That's something for our Women and Watches stream then.
Exactly.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what we got up next then, Zippo?
I started looking for Al McPherson.
Yeah, look it up.
Yeah. Show us a picture of that.
I'll try and find a link.
Yeah, what we got up next?
Yeah, I'll skip that for later. We'll get back to it.
So, Blueshirt, you or me?
Yeah, I'll take the next one, whatever one it is. Oh, there we go.
Breitling Aerospace.
There we go. It helps if I'm on StreamYard. Okay, Breitling Aerospace. Okay. 73 wrote, I was after a quartz grab-and-go watch, and I remember liking the design of the Aerospace in the 90s, looking through the jeweler's window. It just looked so cool with the anti-digi display. Managed to find one with a blue dial in lovely condition, so I pulled the trigger. This watch has a super quartz movement, which apparently offers 10 times better precision than a standard quartz movement. The watch has so many features, including a second time zone, day date, stopwatch, countdown timer, alarm, and even a minute repeater. It's also made of titanium, so it's very comfortable on the wrist.
Yeah, so not everybody's choice this, but it's a very intriguing watch. I mean, I quite like the Anadigi layout of it.
Mm-hmm.
And being titanium, it'd be a very light watch. It's a great everyday wearer with the reliability of the quartz movement.
Exactly.
Well, super quartz.
Yep. Grab and go, like he said, and perfect for the summertime being, titanium. It's so light.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
I'm often looking for watches that have this movement in it. It's really functional. Like if you want like a quartz watch that's maybe a little bit fancier than a G-Shock, this quartz movement it's the shit.
It's a good alternative to the Omega. What is it called? The X33.
The X33.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is a great alternative. It's similar in some ways, but it has more of the Breitling aesthetic to it. It's a cool watch. There's different versions. They had different dial variations. Look, it's a cool watch, and never underestimate the appeal of having a watch you can just pick up anytime, put on your wrist,
and run out the door. Yep.
Yeah, run out the door. Of course, you have to change the batteries once in a while. It's not foolproof, but it's a great thing to have. And if you're really into watches, there's something to be said about having at least one of these in your collection, grab and go watch.
Yeah, Megan's saying that the Aerospace is loved by so many and they've made a bit of a comeback recently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I changed the battery on it recently, and it's fairly straightforward to do. I think the next time the battery does go, I'll probably send it
to Breitling.
Yeah.
Okay. You were able to get a fairly good deal on this.
Yeah. I bought it from it was retail, so I was paying.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
But it,
75 MAF does this version have the ETA movement in it?
I don't think so.
So because I think at one point maybe Breitling stopped using the ETA version and came up with their own.
So as far as I'm aware, this is Breitling's movement. It's their super quartz movement. That's as much as I know, really. The ETA I haven't heard of before with this. But yeah, it's
Yeah, like Bella Ross, I think, have one that uses the ETA movement. Dodon, they have one that uses the ETA movement. It's very similar. It's not exactly like this.
So this is 2003. This was made in 2003. So I don't know if that helps. But I mean, I just like the fonts. It's something about the font on this one.
That stretched font. It's a bit like the Explorer 1 font, isn't it?
Yeah, they're kind of leaning on one side. It's
those stretched numerals.
Yeah, being titanium as well is really comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, usually I don't have anything displayed unless I'm traveling or whatever, so you can have a second time zone, which is very useful. I can play the minute repeater function if you like.
Sure.
Yeah.
So see if you can. Yeah. All right.
No, it's good. Oh, that's loud. Yeah, that's nice.
Great.
Little digital minute repeater. That's awesome.
That's really, really cool. I have to say, it's what a cool thing to have. Like, yeah, it's such a nod to like mechanical watches. It's really cool.
Hey, ID guy, welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back, ID
guy. Welcome back.
Okay, the goodbye cry.
Just one side note, the X33 doesn't use the ETA one, right? They have their own movement for that. So I think there's like 3 movements out in the industry that are similar to this one.
So what's up next? We've had the Explorer 2, the Explorer, and the Breitling Aerospace.
Oh, there's more.
There's plenty more, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So here we have the Tudor Black Bay 58, the LG version, as 73MAF put it. He said he was always interested in Tudors, but the original Black Bays were a bit too big for his 17 centimeters, not 17 inch, 17 centimeter wrist. I also like the North Flag, Tudor's first in-house, I believe, but when I tried it on, it just didn't feel right. The case lacked refinement in my mind. When I saw the Black Bay 58 come out of Basel in 2018, I thought, yes, that's the one. Unfortunately, it proved quite popular, so I had to go on a waiting list. I had a surprise call in March 2019 to collect the watch on the bracelet. Very impressed with the watch. Has a nice warm vintage feel. The chamfer on the lugs is sublime. So yeah, it looks like it really suits you, 73MF, and you're really enjoying that one then.
Yeah, I do wear that one a lot. I've got to be honest with you. Yeah. Although I took it off the bracelet with it being warm summer sort of months without the sort of adjustment that you would get on a Rolex. It's because it's a very solid bracelet. I don't get the same issue with the Explorer 1 or Explorer 2 because they're fairly lighter bracelets, whereas this one is quite solid. So it doesn't have any on-the-fly adjust. But yeah, it looks different. It looks a totally different watch in different lights. It's quite strange. Sometimes it looks really modern, and other times it'll look really vintage, really old. So it's it's pretty much a perfect watch, really. The only issue I think I had when I originally got it was the gold on the bezel. I wasn't overly keen on that.
Yeah, the gills.
Yeah, but it's not going anywhere basically.
Okay, it's grown on you, the gilt.
It has, yeah. And if I go away, if I go on holiday, obviously not at the moment, but it's great to go in the pool with them. It looks like a vintage sub, doesn't it? Really,
it does. It does. So you have it on a NATO now?
Yeah. Well, I did have. I'm now getting it on a. It's like a Perlon strap.
On a Perlon, okay.
Yeah. Just to give that a try, but I have been looking at the rubber bees, and yeah, they're not cheap, are they? But I think I would get scammed with the import tax as well if I because it's obviously bringing it into the UK. I'll be stuck with some kind of import tax, I would imagine. So I don't know. I'm in two minds. I know a few people who've had the rubber bee and say it's really nice, really top notch. But yeah, it's a great size for me. As I say, 17 centimeter wrist. So it's. I always look at Tim Mosso's videos when I'm trying to look for the next watch, and
don't we all?
Yes, we all.
And then
do.
I just say to myself that mine is slightly bigger than Tim's, so
So he's a good gauge. So if it looks good on his wrist, then it's going to look good on your.
I think so.
That looks perfect on your wrist.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah.
It just depends where the photograph's taken. If it's taken further away, it would look a lot smaller, I think. But it's a good size. Good size for me.
Yeah, it looks it looks fine. Doesn't look like it's too small at all. It's a nice watch. I like all the color, the subtle color accents that model has. I think it's a cool watch.
Yeah, right. So
I would encourage, though, like, if you're gonna buy a watch, you could gauge it by some other person who has a similar size wrist, but I would still encourage people to wear it. I know one example, Captain Zed and I have the same wristwatch, the same wrist size, and like when I see him with his IWC Big Pilot, it looks super awesome. When I put the Big Pilot on my wrist, it's too big. So same wrist size, it just gets you in the ballpark, but I think you still have to try.
Yeah, I think the trouble with this one was that obviously I couldn't try it on anywhere. I had to go on a waiting list to get to try it on, and thankfully it was really good, really nice. I mean, it's obviously, I'm sure people are bored to death of these 58s at the moment, but yeah,
we're buying some right after the show.
But in all jokes aside, it's a cool watch. It's just it got a lot of hype behind it, the original model too. But as much as we've been joking about, especially the blue one, right, because of everything that's happened, it is a cool watch. It's there's no denying it. It's a really cool watch.
Somebody mentioned on this picture that is this a Venetian blind version?
Yes, that's true luxury. Blinds.
Better than mine. Better than bed sheets.
On that note, we'll move on.
Yes.
Next watch.
There you go.
The G-Shock.
Yeah.
All right. Now we are at the G-Shock GW-M5610-1ER. This was a present from 73's wife. He takes it away when he travels and wears it to the gym. The watch is radio controlled and receives a signal at 2 a.m. each day from the atomic clock in the UK, which automatically adjusts the time if needed. So it is very accurate. I use this watch as a reference point when setting the time on any mechanical watch I want to wear.
Now that's got to be a bonus, hasn't it? It's great to have a reference point that you can go to.
Yep. And I use one of my G-Shocks to do the exact same thing. 73. So it's great to do that. It's a great feature to have.
I'm wearing this watch right now, and I've been wearing it every day since lockdown.
You still wearing that G-Shock?
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm just it's the only watch that I've been putting on during lockdown.
So you're killing two birds with one stone. You've got a great watch to start off with, and then you've got the use of it for being a reference point for setting all the other watches because it's so accurate. I mean, two birds with one stone is a great combo.
Yeah, the only thing about this watch is because I really have been wearing it almost every day. Every once in a while, I think maybe I could update to one with a carbon strap. Like that's supposed to be a little bit more comfortable. And then I think, why would I do that? This is just fine enough. But,
I did buy the metal version, but the full metal black version. So, negative display. But the bracelet I found just wasn't as comfortable as obviously the resin type bracelet strap that you have here.
Yeah, what did you think of the negative display? I had one for a while and sold it because I thought it would be cool, but it just kind of bugged me. It was too hard to read.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I have a negative display G-Shock as well, and it is a little hard to read. And I don't wear that one as often as I wear my radio-controlled one, which isn't a square; it's a round, but it has all the same features as 73s. So,
the negative display was too hard for me to read in my gym. Like the lighting in my gym just made it way too hard to use that there. But I like the look of the negative display way more than this display.
Yes, Megan, we truly appreciate having ID Guy on the stream.
We're graced with a superstar's presence.
Exactly.
My favorite thing about the G-Shock is you can watch it with the dishes.
That's it. You don't have to give it a second thought.
Go everywhere, in the shower and wash the dishes, do the gardening, anything.
It's a great exercise watch.
Go everywhere, watch. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I bet this is going on for about 10 years old now, maybe. But it's still great. Still works. I haven't had to change the battery either, which is pretty cool.
They can last a lifetime.
Yeah, great lifetime. Yeah.
So what's up next, Zippo?
I was gonna say, like when we first got, your watches, 73 MAF. I remember, like, I got to the end and I was like, oh yeah, this could easily be my collection. So I really appreciated you sharing them. I really like your collection, and
it's great, isn't it?
Could easily be a collection that I would be happy with.
I mean, this one I love. This is beautiful. This is the IWC Mark 15. This is a 2000 edition. 73 Math says, I always loved the aesthetics of this watch. The hands, the dial, and the handset in particular, the squared off hour hand. Previously, I had a Time Factor Speedbird 3, which was very faithful homage to this piece. I knew someone who had the watch, and he wanted to sell it. He'd recently bought an Aquanaut from an AD. I paid a really good price for the watch and sold the Speedbird. The previous owner had the watch serviced by IWC, where they replaced some parts, including the hands and the crown. Unfortunately, the parts were not returned to him. I recently did some research on the watch, as I was curious as to why the dial had T-Swiss-made T on the bottom. Couldn't find any concrete answers, only theories. I believe this watch was a transitional piece. There are 3 dial variants with the Mark 15. The watch probably came with tritium hands and Luminova dial. The hands were replaced at service with Luminova. Very happy with this watch. Great size and not in any rush to let it go. And 2 right 73 and 5 wouldn't be in any rush to let it go. It looks absolutely lovely.
Yeah.
And like you say, I love that stubby hour hand, that cut off hour hand. Looks great. Absolutely.
Yeah, why would you be in any rush to let this go? It's a fantastic pilot's watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is this and the newer Mark 18s, right? The Pittsburgh edition, all of those are, to me, they are so underrated as watches. I know IWC gets a lot of flack for tons of things, right? But I find that the smaller Pilot is so underrated. It's such a cool watch. I think both new, if that's what you decide to go for, and on the used market, it's priced absolutely right. The size is perfect. It's a cool watch. It so many good straps fit on that watch. It's a really, really cool watch. A lot of people should consider this watch when they're looking for that type of, not the usual sports watch or huge, like 56 millimeter Flieger or whatever. This is a really cool watch.
Completely
Good evening
agree.
or afternoon to you as well, John.
Yeah, this is a
Hello
beautiful.
there, John.
Hey,
Yeah.
John. Yeah, and again, this is another watch that looks absolutely perfect on your wrist, 73 AMAF. Classic Flieger.
Yeah, it's good. It's quite long lug to lug, 38. It's it's nice. It's good size. As I say, the research I did just basically concerned the 3 dial variants, and the only difference between the 3 is one has T Swiss made T, one has doesn't have the T, so it's blank there, and then the other one has a straight line, so the minute track continues, and it just says Swiss made. So, I mean, part of me thinks it's a shame that the hands weren't retained, but it would look totally different to this. It would be the hands would look yellow, wouldn't they? They would be heavily patinaed, where the dial wouldn't be.
Right.
So that would look odd, wouldn't it? If you know what I mean. So it's fine. I mean, I paid about £1,000, I think, when I bought it, and
Very good deal.
you won't get one for that now.
No, definitely not.
IWC as a brand might get slated or whatever, but I haven't lost out with this one, so I'm happy with it anyway. So it's not going anywhere, so it's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely one of their. It's one of their classic watches, really. It's a really cool watch. To me, this, even though it's not the same, right? I still think the Explorer 136 or 39 is more. It's a watch that you can do more with, and it's it's more flexible to wear. But I think this is kind of similar, right? It's a watch that you can wear sporty, wear with a suit if you want. It's a really cool watch and great value. And look at the price you paid for it. It's you can't go wrong with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I think people sort of don't like the date on this watch. They sort of wish the date wasn't there. But I think they've done a good job of putting the date there, because it kind of looks, it doesn't look too out of place on the dial.
I can see what they're saying, but you're right there. It's been well placed today. Today's been well placed. You don't know too much.
Yeah, I think people really spend too much time obsessing about date placement on a lot of watches. And I've talked with a lot of people that will say, "Oh, this shouldn't be at 4:30, or this shouldn't be at 3." But then again, they won't bat an eyelash about the date being in exactly the same spot with this big Cyclops on a Rolex. So I think people like to complain about that a lot, but it's not a big deal, and you have to put it somewhere, right? Where are you going to put it? In the center? I think it's really, really well executed on this watch, and it's very it still retains a lot of symmetry. So cool watch. Really like it.
Underachieving watch collector, hello.
Hey, underachieving, welcome.
Well, man.
Underachieving. So what's next, Zippo? Oh. You want to go
Very
with this one,
nice.
Blueshirt?
Sure. This is the Omega Seamaster SMP 300 2531-80.00 from 2001, aka the James Bond at 41 millimeter. I think the first example of this watch, quartz, appeared in the film GoldenEye. Gift from my dad around 10 years ago. Had it serviced by Omega in 2018. Classic piece with an amazing dial, very comfortable bracelet. Wear it occasionally.
Yeah, this is a classic watch.
It is.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Absolutely. A first stop for many people, I would say. Yeah, this is a classic collector's piece for many people. Very reliable, very robust. Beats the elements.
Comfortable bracelet.
Yeah, very comfortable bracelet. Stylish, and it's an iconic piece as well. Like we were saying about the watches from films, this is the classic James Bond piece.
And it's blue, so it immediately goes high in my book.
Yeah, the Timeless Watch channel, he did a video on this recently, and he mentioned a few things in there which I hadn't realised I'd noticed. Sort of the dial sort of disappears in certain lights and then catches another light and the whole wave pattern appears. It's getting on the max I'd want to wear in terms of size, 41 mil. Because the lug to lug with that bracelet is pushing probably 52, I would say. So I wear it occasionally, but it's a solid watch. Obviously, it's ETA based, so that but it's easy to service. Yeah, it's good. It's nice. Obviously, being a gift from my dad, it's
it's not going anywhere.
So I thought I'd treat it to a service years ago, and they brought it back, and it was new. It looked new. So, all credit to Omega. I mean, I know that sometimes with Rolex they can polish the hell out of things, and it doesn't retain any of the shape of the case. But what they did there, it's all as it was. It's been a very sort of subtle polish.
You got a new watch back, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, even the lady, when she sort of handed it to me, said, "Yeah, that looks like a new watch," and I just said, "Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Spot on." So it's good.
Very
yeah,
good.
Nice
Very
gift.
good.
Very nice gift.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere because your dad gave it to you, is it? So
No, he bought
definitely a keeper.
Yeah, he bought the. What did he buy? It's got an orange bezel. I forget the name of the.
Planet Ocean.
Yeah. He bought a Planet Ocean, and he basically just gave me this one, so I gladly accepted.
So, what do we move on to next then, Zippo?
There you go.
Oh, this is a picture taken in 1981 of 73MF proudly sporting a Casio calculator watch. This is obviously when you first started getting into watches and 73MF.
Yeah, I've always liked. I've always been interested in watches really for as long as I can remember. I was flicking through some old family albums, and there's quite a few pictures of me with a watch. But this one is obviously, you can tell it is a Casio calculator watch, which obviously I haven't got anymore. But it's good. 1981.
Yeah,
Coolest watch around.
Really cool watch. And I have to say this, everybody that's into watches and over a certain age, in the 80s absolutely wanted to have a Casio calculator watch.
Absolutely.
No
They
doubt.
might not want to
Absolutely.
admit it today, but everybody wanted one.
Oh yeah, you could cheat at math tests.
Yeah. Cheat at school, yeah.
Yep.
Nobody would know.
Back when the teachers told you wouldn't always have a calculator with you.
Exactly.
You have a calculator with you.
Yes.
So what we got next, Zippo? Oh, here we go.
Oh, this is the new edition.
This is what we've been waiting for.
Exactly.
Oh,
This is the both Thomas and I have been drooling over this watch since it came
Yeah.
out.
oh,
This is the Zenith A384 Revival.
yeah. So
Early 2020, 73 MAF thinned out his collection and sold quite a few watches, Nomos, Seiko, and Oris. He was going to put that money towards a chronograph and had his eye on a Speedmaster Racing or this Zenith A384 Revival.
Oh, this is better than the Speedmaster.
Yeah, it's a little, it's way more unique. He thought if he went for the Speedmaster, he could also get a Zinn U50, another watch I like the look of. Really loved the A384 Revival when it first came out. Great size and a retro look without any faux patina, just a perfect remake of the original. And it is a Panda dial, which is such a great look. When I saw one come up for sale, I thought I would make an offer, and to my surprise, the offer was accepted. It's a beautiful watch. For me, I wanted a chronograph that wasn't too dressy. I've also recently ordered the ladder bracelet. Can't wait for that to arrive. Such a beautiful watch. Love to operate the chronograph and enjoy the sapphire case back. This is an absolutely gorgeous little watch. It's 37 millimeters, true to the original, and just very, again, this is a tool watch looking chronograph, and it's just, it's gorgeous.
it's a stunner. I love it, and I want one.
This is just a beautiful watch. I feel like it's executed perfectly, right? They just did such a great job. And I've said this before, this watch is going to be once more people have them, I think people are going to realize this is going to be a strap monster. You're going to be able to put so many cool straps on that thing. It's
And 73 MAF, that strap that you have on there, that rally strap, that's not the original strap that it came on.
No, I chatted to Nia, I think. This is a Hodinky rally or racing strap, I think. I think this is one. And it is a really good strap. I'll give it to Hodinky. That is a good
Yeah, it
strap.
looks beautiful.
Yeah, I have one on my tricolor.
Yeah. I find that the original strap it comes with makes it more of a dressy piece, which it's everyone's different. I'm just, it's not for me. I don't want a dressy sort of strap. But saying that, I mean the bracelet. I don't know whether the bracelet will make it more dressy or less dressy. I don't know. But I've seen a few pictures on Instagram where some guys have got like a brown strap on this, and it looks really good. Yeah. So I'm going to enjoy getting a few more straps for it.
And that ladder bracelet will look amazing, won't it? It could give it the real authentic 70s look.
It just completes the package then, doesn't it? Because I think originally they released this only on the leather bracelet, leather strap. But I had an email last week from the AD, and it's 12 weeks. I've got to
Wow.
wait 12 weeks for the strap.
For the bracelet?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
the bracelet, yeah.
ID guys saying it's called the Gay Flowers bracelet, is it?
Yes, that's what I've ordered, but it's
Yeah.
it's 12 weeks.
The cool thing is
beautiful.
Zenith didn't make a modern clasp for that bracelet. They made a real reproduction of the original with a stamped metal clasp, so it's not, it feels like the real thing.
Yeah, yeah. And that's kind of what I like about this. They've made the watch as if you bought it new in the the late 60s. They didn't try to make it look like an old watch, because by the very shape of the case and what have you, it does look like an old watch. So they didn't need to mess around with any of the patina on the dial and indices.
Yeah, and the Panda dial is just a bonus, man.
Yeah, it's just
beautiful.
Amazing.
And the Panda is just such a nice, clean look. It's just really good. And the thing I like about, I like the way they've, in the date window as well, they've the minute track is stepped out of the dial, so that if the chronograph hand stops on the date window, you still know exactly what to the second what time.
And
so I think that's a nice touch.
One of the really cool things about the design of this watch is that Zenith resisted the temptation of making it huge, right? Like making it a super big modern size.
Well, NS, they actually released this watch in 40 millimeters like about 10 or 12 years ago.
That's true. I've seen some.
And so this is kind of a second attempt, a much better attempt. But yeah, they had it in a 40 mil.
And you know what's really what always looks weird with the El Primeros that are too big, that are oversized, and this is the same with their. They came out with El Primero Elite dress watch, and I think 42 millimeters or something. The El Primero movement is small, right? And so the bigger the dial, the more the subdials look like they're bunched up in the center, because they can't really move out those subdials, right?
Right.
So as soon as you hit like 42 millimeter, like that one dress watch that they made, it's comical, right? It looks like you ask yourself, like, why did they put those sub registers so close to the center?
Right.
But they can't unless they make a huge modification to the movement. So here it actually still looks really good, with really good proportions as a chronograph.
Yeah, it's symmetrical.
They just made it really, really well. There's not much you can say about this watch. It's one of the, doing something that looks vintage. There's so many traps they can fall into and make it look completely ridiculous. This is one of those watches where they did it they just did it well. It looks beautiful.
I quite like some of the sort of modern pieces that Zenith are doing at the moment as well. I think it's Defy 21.
Yep.
It's at the 100th of a second chrono. Is that right?
Yeah, the ceramic Defies are really, really cool with the matching bracelets, straps. They're making really nice ones, and it's not just. I know a lot of people think it's just like big skeletonized dials. It's not. They make tons of stuff, and a lot of the watches look really, really nice.
Agreed.
They recently announced what they're calling, I guess, the shadow version of this, and it's black PVD. Apparently, a watch that they originally made for a very short time, and there's no date, which is also quite unique for an El Primero. So it's
I think
that one really caught my eye.
I think it's made of titanium that's coated. I think it's I know the one you're talking about. I think it's titanium and it's coated with. I forget what it might be PVD, but I think the case itself is titanium.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the original was a like a regular PVD, but yeah, no, it's caught my attention for sure. I like it without the date, to be honest. It's quite unusual.
Yeah.
It's just
I think
it's a
Rolex,
fantastic watch.
Rolex did away with the date, didn't they, when they took on the El Primera movement?
I just want to welcome our old friend Howdy from Texas.
Howdy,
Thank you for coming by, Howdy.
Yeah.
Howdy.
So
Good to see
what's
you.
up next, Zippo? What have we got on the picture? What have we got a picture of next?
Showcase watches. Hello, sir.
Hi guys, how are you doing?
Good. Yourself?
Hi,
Yeah,
Showcase.
very well, thank you. Sorry I'm a bit
Hey.
late to the show.
Hey, James.
No worries.
Hey.
Hey, Blueshirt.
Hi, James.
Hi, James.
How are we all?
Yeah, good. We're just going through 73 Maths collection here.
Oh wow.
It's worth rewatching to see his collection.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
so
got
here,
it's an amazing collection.
here he says he's got a bunch of Casios. So this is obviously going well into the past 73 Math. You got a bunch of Casios going back through the years here.
Yeah, I tend to wear the sort of the plasticky smaller ones. I tend to wear them in bed, basically. So, yeah, light watch to wear in bed. But yeah, they're just a bit of fun, aren't they?
They are.
These
Yeah,
are all for
sure.
sale, by the way. If you if you want to make me an offer for any of these.
Oh, really? Right. Get them on the Discord.
Exactly. I was just going to say that.
10-year-old me would have killed for that white camo.
That white camo is great, isn't it? The white and blue camo one on the left. Yeah. Love
Arctic
that.
camo, is that what they call that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. They're just a bit of fun, aren't they? They just obviously reissue their older models, and it's great for sort of kids getting into watches and things.
It's cool nowadays with whether it's Amazon or whatever internet retailer you want to use. It's so cool to be able to get all these different editions, including some that were for either the Japanese market or some other markets. Now you can get any of them fairly easily. Some of them are rare, and it's kind of hilarious when you think that some of the, like the 91W and some of those models, there's a whole industry of
modding. Yep.
Well, and also of counterfeit ones.
Oh, that too.
Right? Yeah, so there's a whole industry of counterfeiting, like a $24 watch, which tells you a lot about just how popular those watches are, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I have a $26 Casio Royale sitting in my my glove box in my truck. That's my emergency backup watch. Every time I run out the door and I forget to wear a watch, I have that waiting for me. It's always working. It's always there. It never fails. It's just it's a great fun little backup piece.
Yeah, they're just a bit of fun, aren't they? Really, it's
yep.
As far as movie watches go, you're probably 10-1 these to anything else, anything and everything else.
Yep.
I actually have the one on the far right, the one with the little green touches on it. I actually have that one. It's actually strapped on our bed, on our headboard. We have like little dome things on the end, and the strap fits perfectly around it. And because it's got an alarm system, I have that because you can just press the button, it looms up on a night, and it's got the alarm for morning. So that watch is my alarm clock.
Great,
cool,
great.
Excellent.
So
Chi-Town, California. Hello, sir.
Hi, Chi-Town. You well?
Hey.
Have we got anything after this, Zippo?
That's about it, isn't it?
Just a tangent on this, because this kind of reminded me. I just bought.
There we go.
Well, I got this one, yeah.
Yeah, this is just sorry, Neo. You were saying?
Oh, I was saying a tangent off of these Casios. I just bought my 10-year-old niece a flick-flack watch.
Oh, brilliant!
It's her birthday coming up, so we'll see what she thinks of it. But what was kind of interesting is, the watch showed up and the return address is Nick Hayek.
Really?
Yeah, his name is actually as you're getting this watch for me.
Wow.
It's pretty.
That's cool.
Yeah, and just as an aside on the Flick Flax, before we finish with the Seiko 5, if anybody wants to get a watch for a kid, the really cool thing about the Flick Flax is, and I know this because my kids have like 4, you know, you have the classic swatch case, right? The watch comes in, and you have like the warranty booklet, but the Flick Flax come with a booklet and a bunch of activities for teaching young kids how to read an analog watch.
Great.
So, you know, if you want to get them started right and you want to teach them how to tell the time, which a lot of people a lot older don't know how to do, it's a great watch for that.
So this is a Seiko 5 that 73 MAF recently added a graph paper dial. Great 37 millimeter case and excellent value. Love the hidden crown. Just wanted a Seiko back in the collection. Can't argue with that.
I love that graph paper dial. It looks great.
It does.
It looks lovely.
It does. And every collection has room for a Seiko in it.
Absolutely. It's really, really out of the ordinary, that graph paper dial. It looks really nice. Really, really nice.
And Mackenzie, if you think, if he's saying what I think he's saying, one hit is all it takes. Yeah, this is everybody, a lot of our first watch, one that gets us into it. It was true.
One note about the older Seiko 5s like these, ever since Seiko kind of discontinued a lot of the classic Seiko 5s, they're getting harder to get at great prices, but you can still find some. So if you want a really cool but fairly cheap watch, now's the time. I think their entry-level Seiko 5s are going up now with the sport line. So anybody that's looking for one of those, now's the time to get them.
Just want to say welcome to Junior Johnson. Thank you for stopping by.
Junior. Good to see you as always.
Yeah. Hi, Junior.
Hey, Junior.
This purchase was Austin Daniels' fault, really. He was showing some of his Seiko 5s, and I thought, oh yeah, you know, they're quite.
Why
nice.
not?
Nice watches, and yeah, I just thought, yeah, why not? So I tried to find, one of these exquisite dials, but thought, graph paper, that's all right, isn't it?
It's unique. It's great.
That's cool. It's a cool watch. And you can change the language on the day wheel, which is kind of cool.
And I think the hidden crown, I think Seiko's idea behind that was that you didn't need to wind the watch because it was automatic. So the crown was sort of hidden in that position.
Yeah, the hidden crown is one of those 5 famous things, right? About the Seiko 5. I forget all them. One of them was they're waterproof and all that. And that was one of the big features that they were pushing for the Seiko 5.
So I think there's one more in the one more photo, is there? We were talking about Flick Flax, and this is just a swatch that you have in the collection. Everyone has a swatch in the collection, I think, as well as a Casio and a Seiko. So this was our ending point for the collection. And 73 MAF said, I'm quite content with my collection at the moment. I don't have any plans to let anything go. In terms of adding to it, I wouldn't mind another Zin. So I've put a link to a Zin in the chat, in the private chat, Zippo, if you just want to go to that. If you can get out your photos and just click on that.
Oh, kind of got buried. Is it up?
It's just in the private chat.
Rolex. Out of here.
It's the U50. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mentioned that.
73 MF says, I'm quite content with my collection at the moment and don't have any plans to let anything go. In terms of adding to it, I wouldn't mind another Zin. I sold my previous two. Possibly the U50, as I've always loved the U1 design. I only have 17 centimeter wrists, so the U1 was always a tad too big. So he loves the U50, which is a really nice watch. I think it's gone down to 40 millimeters, is it, or 41 millimeters?
Yeah, it's 41.
Down from 44, which the U1 was, sorry. And it's a lovely watch. So is that a possibility for the future, do you think, 73 Math?
Yeah, it's quite a new watch that there aren't really that many sort of reviews out there. I think, is it Patrick Chip? I think he's got one from the Discord. I think he's got one on order, so it'll be interesting to see what he thinks when it arrives.
It's teased you though.
Yeah, he will. Yeah, he probably will. Yeah. I just
a lovely looking watch.
It's that tool aesthetic, I suppose, and get the handset. I just love that handset.
And it'll give you a German watch in the collection.
Yeah. And people say that it reminds them of sort of a Lego.
Yeah, I think that handset reminds people of Lego.
And I think this looks so cool, though.
Yeah,
it's a tool watch,
and you can have it all tegimented, so you won't be able to scratch it. So
yeah. So 73MF continues saying, long term, I'd like to add a JLC dress watch. At the moment, I'm keen on the Master Control line, but the 37mm variants. I'm leaning more towards the Reserve de Marche rather than the annual calendar triple date. So that was the next link I put in Zippo, which was the JLC Reserve de Marche. If you can just click on that one. Now this one, I think you ought to go for one of these 73 Math. I think you need one of these in your collection because you're lacking a dedicated dress watch.
Yeah.
If you just click on that picture, Zippo, it'll bring it up big. There we go. And that just looks stunning, if you ask me.
Beautiful watch.
That's one of my favorite GLCs. That is a beautiful watch. It's more interesting than the average dress watch.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, if you like that particular model with the power reserve, they made quite a few dial variants over the years, and some of them are pretty cool. There's also the newest of the Master series as well that are pretty cool and have very nice complications and dials.
I think I read also somewhere that this line was the first watch to display the power reserve. I might be wrong, but it just looks a lot more. There's a lot more going on than just a simple dress watch, isn't there? And it's. I haven't got a power reserve watch, so it's quite a cool feature to have.
It is.
And the date is not
stunning. And you haven't got a dedicated dress watch either, have you?
No. I mean, I am a t-shirt and jeans sort of.
Yeah.
It's my daily wear, whatever. I mean, I know that Zane wears ridiculous Pateks in his jeans and t-shirts, but for me, it's more. The tool watch is really. But I think this you could dress down with a different strap in this color, perhaps. Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, you absolutely can. You put on like a brown leather strap, and it'll just fit with about pretty much anything.
Yeah, it looks gorgeous.
It's an amazing watch.
So he continues, 73 Math continues by saying, I'll be 50 in a few years' time and would like to commemorate that milestone with a watch. I'm on the waiting list for an Aquanaut with the AD I bought my Black Bay 58 from. But who knows if I will ever get a call for that. Other than that, I do like the pre-ceramic two-tone models. A root beer on a Jubilee would be top of my list. But they seem rarer than hen's teeth in the UK. I would want to get a minty mint one as well. I also really like the black two-tone Submariner. So the next link I put was the Aquanaut Zippo. If you want to just click on that. So how likely do you think the Aquanaut will happen then, 73 math?
Well, I don't know. I am going to my AD next week, so I will mention it. But again, it's one of those. I think he said there was a few people ahead of me, but I don't know. I don't know. They're double in price, aren't they, on the used? So it's
Yep.
Yeah.
73 math. I don't know if you know or not. You wanting to get a pre-owned root beer on Jubilee?
yeah. I mean, this is not in the immediate future, but I would like
The only,
to get one. Yeah.
the only reason I mention it is because a company that I've bought watches from before, Ramsden's. I don't know if you've heard of them or not. They're pawnbrokers, and they're very good at doing the deal. And they've actually got a root beer on Jubilee up for sale here in the UK.
Cool. Yeah, we'll have to check it out.
And I deal with them quite often. I've bought quite a few watches off them in the past, and they are really good. All the watches come serviced, and I'm just looking at it now. It's a beautiful looking watch.
Cool. I'd just like to sort of say that 73 MAF. My name's Matt, so Matt is people call me. Some friends call me Matt, so hence that. And 73 is obviously how old I am. So. Not 73, obviously.
Right, your birthday. We gotcha.
So you can call me Matt, that's fine.
Okay,
thank you.
Or Matt, whatever.
Yeah. Do you think this is really likely to happen? And how much do you really want an Aquanaut? Is it are you just chasing the hype, or would you really wear one?
I've been thinking about this, and if I got that, I would possibly sell most of my collection, I think.
Really? You that keen on it?
Just got one and done.
Yeah, I think so. I think, I mean, the guy. I mean, I mentioned earlier that the guy that I bought the IWC off. He bought one of these from the AD, and he sold me that IWC, and he's now trying to sell this for double what he paid for it. And I don't know. If I got one, would I be then tempted to sell it because of what they're going for? But are people paying that? I don't know.
I would.
Yeah. ID guys saying, why can't they just put 3 on the dial? So an issue with the date again. Like we're saying. Yeah, it's a date watch. So
If I could buy like a base model watch and sell it for twice as much the next day, I'm selling.
Would you wear this though, Matt? I mean, do you think it's too fragile to wear as an everyday, or would it be an everyday watch, or would you use the Tudor as an everyday watch and this as a special watch, or?
Yeah, possibly, maybe, but this to me just, I don't know, it just looks really cool. I don't know. There's just something about that dial and the rubber.
I love the Geosphere dial and the Aquanaut. It's lovely, isn't it? It's beautiful.
No, this is. I much prefer this to the Aquanaut, without doubt.
Have any of you guys tried out the just going for the one and done approach? I tried it about 3 years ago. When I sold off my entire collection and just kept my Speedmaster and my Submariner no date. And it is something that I think is a really good thing to do. I mean, if you can consolidate your entire collection into one beautiful piece that you're going to wear for every occasion, it's something I think is a really good thing. I did quite enjoy doing it, to be honest.
Well, I think that if you can stick with and this is just my opinion, right? So take it with a huge grain of salt because it's not worth much, but I really like quality over quantity. And I don't think I would want to have just one. I'd want a few, but I think if you can keep it at quality over quantity and not grow your collection so quickly, you may not have to keep consolidating and then going back up, because the big risk there is that you're in a constant loop of consolidating and then buying 5 more watches and then consolidating again. But there is something to be said, of you can only wear one watch at a time. So, and and if you're always wearing the same watch, why are you keeping the other 5 or 6 or 20 or 50?
I think the problem with watches, and I think the problem with the watch market, is that too many people are into it for value retention. And I think a lot of people keep the watches tucked away because of value retention. And I mean, prime example, I've got my Rolex Submariner, which I've fallen out of love with a little bit, but I've decided to put it on the wrist starting tomorrow morning and just wear the hell out of the thing. And if I don't love it after a couple of weeks of everyday use, I'm not going to love it, so I'll sell it. But I think in the back of my mind, I stopped wearing it as much once the value started going too high. And I think sometimes value retention in something's sort of a difficult thing to get in your head.
Yeah, look, I think not everybody is in the same hobby. Right? I think that's one thing that a lot of people don't understand. You have people that are in it 100% for value retention and collecting shiny things and collecting hype, and that's one hobby. Right? I think others are in it for the horology of it, the movements, the history of it, and some people just like watches and they like to wear them. So there's talk about collecting strategies. There's talk about value retention, about all of these things. But at some point, you have to figure out what hobby are you in. Right? Are you in just are you like an Instagram watch person where you just want like whatever's trendy and whatever has hype behind it? Are you in it for the investment purpose of it, which more often than none doesn't work out that well? Or what are you in it for? And I think you always have to remember that no matter what you're in it for, not everybody else is in this hobby for the same reason.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, ID guy is saying, Matt, that you do need a grail, something special. So maybe the Aquanaut is that watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always liked it, and it's a shame now that it's such a, I suppose, a hyped watch, and it's double retail, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
is
Matt,
that what it is? Double retail?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I was
just going to say the 5167 makes sense.
15,000 at the minute. That's
no problem. I was just going to chime in and just say the 5167 makes a lot of sense now, having seen your entire collection, from the Explorers to the the IWC and just your aesthetic. I mean, this does look like the pinnacle watch, in terms of form and fit and the design. It makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
What I like about it, what I really, really like about it, is the fact that, especially on the rubber, it's understated. You've got the quality there, but it's not shouting what it is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much where I'm coming from, I suppose. James.
Yeah, and look, Matt, even if it was a shiny watch, right? Even if it was like a Nautilus or whatever, if you're buying it for yourself because you like it,
right,
you can't go wrong, right? Even if it was like I don't know, like a crazy bunch of complications, really expensive product. It doesn't matter if this really seems like something you want to buy for yourself, and that's the way to do it, because you actually will be happy about it. There's a lot of people that unfortunately like this watch and then they get it, and then, well, it's the entry level or whatever, right? Even though it really isn't. And I want something else. I want something cooler. If you actually like it, you're going to get it. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to want to keep it and wear it.
But I suppose the root beer is totally different to this, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Bit of
It is.
if you like.
If you love what you buy what you love and love what you buy, you're never going to go wrong. ID guy was asking for a quick recap of the collection.
I'll just go over that quickly. So it's got a Bond Seamaster, an Omega Seamaster Professional Bond watch.
I'll bring them up again here.
Yeah. Quickly flick through those photos. We've got an Omega Seamaster Professional. We've got a G-Shock. There we go. We've got a Swatch. Oh.
Start at where we started from here. All right.
We've got the Explorer 2. We've got the Explorer 1. We've got the Breitling Aerospace. The Tudor Black Bay 58. The G-Shock, Casio G-Shock GWM 5610. The IWC Mark 15, which is a lovely watch. The Omega Seamaster SMP 300. The picture of Matt wearing his proudly sporting his Casio calculator watch in 1981. We've got the Zenith A384 Revival. Another picture of Matt, another wrist shot there. A collection of Casios. Another wrist shot of the Omega. A Seiko 5 with the graph paper dial. And a Swatch. Everyone's got to have a Swatch in the collection, haven't they?
The root beer feels like it would be a little bit of an outlier.
Yeah, that one would be worn very occasionally.
But that would be kind of cool, right? In the future, a collection where you maybe consolidate it a little bit and you add that Aquanaut and the root beer.
Yeah.
It would cover so many bases. But look, your collection's already like super cool. So
yeah.
That's very kind of you. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, if you add, a dress watch like the JLC, and then the Aquanaut or the root beer, I mean, then you're done, man. It's a fantastic collection.
I would say just the JLC and the root beer and the Zin would be an absolute wonderful addition. If you're thinking about the Aquanaut, well then you're going to have to sell some of the other watches, aren't you? So you're detracting from the collection as it is. So it's
that's
our decision on that.
I was saying before, I don't want to get rid of anything at the moment. Everything is sort of what I've been doing for the last sort of 8-9 weeks. I've been wearing one watch for the week.
Mm-hmm.
I've been wearing the Explorer 2 for 1 week and then the Explorer 1 for the next week, just while this lockdown business is going on. And I've kind of discovered that there's nothing I'd like to get rid of at the moment. But we can't have everything, can we? Yeah.
Right.
ID guy's got an interesting point. Do you want to get some gold in there? Have you ever thought about that, or does gold put you off?
In terms of
just a gold watch?
Yeah. I mean, there's gold in that two-tone, isn't it?
I suppose the root beer. I mean, you did mention there are another 2 watches, Zippo. The last 2 after the Aquanaut. They were the.
Oh yeah, I do like the
beer and the stainless steel sub.
Yeah,
sorry, the two-tone sub.
Yeah,
just after the version, the root beer and the two-tone black dial sub.
Yeah, it's hard, right? It depends on why you're buying your next watch and what you want from it. clearly he loves the look of the Aquanaut.
I think it's because we're all addicted now to buying watches. I think that's the problem. So I'm always looking for the next thing to buy.
I mean, I get what you'd want a dress watch, right? And I'm really pro dress watch. I that's mostly what I like. But you don't want to fall into the trap either that you need something in your collection, right? Like people that say, well, you need a diver and you need a chronograph and you need a dress watch. The Aquanaut can pass as a dress watch.
Absolutely.
And I think, your Explorer 36 is also qualifies as a dress watch. So if the Aquanaut is a watch you really like and it would mean not getting a dress watch, I think that's fine too.
Yep.
I had the Nomos Tangente, and it was a lovely watch, very dress orientated, and I always felt I needed to wear that with a shirt or dressed up, and I just never wore it. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. So I got rid of it for something I would wear. But I don't know, with the JLC I could probably potentially dress that down. Maybe I don't know.
I think underestimating the fashion aspects of putting a watch on could often lead to you having a bunch of watches that you don't actually wear.
Yeah.
Right.
I would wear one of these 16753. I'm in love with them.
I know you love two. You love two of Matt's watches are on your.
The Zenith and the IWC. I love both of those. I'd go for one of these as well. Yeah.
There's just not many, is there? There isn't many in the UK.
Then the next one was the two-tone sub that you liked. If you can bring that up, Zippo. The next link after the one for this one in the private chat is the two-tone sub.
What have I done?
The root beer, yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I love that root beer on the Jubilee.
Beautiful.
Amazing.
Yeah, gorgeous.
There you go, two-tone sub.
There's another one that Matt was looking at, a possibility if he couldn't get the Aquanaut, if the Aquanaut didn't appear, either the root beer or this. He likes the pre-ceramic ones more than the ceramic ones, the modern interpretation. So, which I do too, to be honest with you. I prefer the pre-ceramics. I'd much rather go with the root beer than this. But that's just my preference.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you, Thomas.
The ceramic root beer is beautiful.
Yeah, I was going to say, if someone wants to combine both and get a more modern one, the new root beer it's a really nice looking watch.
True. Yeah, the new root beer is gorgeous. I just love the Tiger's Eye dial on the 16753, that brown tiger, rather than the black dial that's on the modern iteration of the root beer, the ceramic root beer. Yeah, I just wish I'd done a brown dial on the modern root beer. I think that looks a lot nicer.
Yeah, the two-tone at the moment appeals to me. I just quite like that look, but it's not for everyone, is it? I suppose.
No. So where can you honestly see your money going in the future then, Matt? Can you if the Aquanaut doesn't appear, would he go for a root beer or would he go for one of these subs?
At the moment, I'm leaning more towards the root beer, but they're very scarce in the UK. I don't know whether you've had a look on Chrono 24, but they're not particularly available, certainly in the UK.
I'll be right back, guys.
Yeah.
It's I mean, I do like the modern one. I just know that it would be too big for me to wear. I think the modern one is it's a gorgeous looking watch, isn't it?
Yeah, I was just saying I prefer the brown dial on the vintage one rather than the Tiger's Eye dial, rather than the black dial on the modern ceramic. I think it belongs to the brown dial.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, we'll see. Who knows?
So you got a very extensive collection. I would say go with the JLC. To be honest with you, I think you need a dress watch.
Cool, thanks.
you're not convinced, are you? You're not convinced. You're a jeans guy, and you're not convinced with that one yet. I think as you grow older, you'll appreciate dress watches more, and
yeah.
And,
Look, like I always like to say, right? Listen to everybody's suggestions, then throw them all out, and buy what you want.
Good advice.
It's your money. Buy something you like and you'll enjoy, and look, it's really cool that you have a bunch of watches right now, and you keep saying that you don't want to let any of them go. You like all of them. The best thing you can do is add another one you're going to want to keep, and you'll be happy. So.
Yeah.
Can I just ask you, Matt, have you got any pet peeves, any watch hang-ups? So I was going to quickly ask the chat if they had any hang-ups.
Yeah, I suppose for me, it's a diver on a leather strap.
A diver on a leather strap, that's a good one. Yeah, and Blueshirt was saying earlier that he doesn't like the digits encroach on a chronograph. He didn't like numerals that encroach on a chronograph, so that's an interesting one. So, the diver on a leather strap, that's a great one. Yeah, we were trying to get the chat involved a bit more about their personal hang-ups and get them to put them in the chat. Neo was saying that he had some hang-ups. NS something said, aside from value retention.
Yes, aside from value retention.
Value retention. What are people's personal hang-ups that keep them away from certain watches? And Neo was saying that if a bezel has information on it, he can't do a steel bezel. His brain just has a problem focusing on the bezel as a source of information. Also, he can't do a green watch. Green has been his least favourite colour since he was a kid. And a perpetual or annual calendar does less than nothing for him. And if a watch looks like an Invicta, he can't see himself wearing it.
I have a lot of watch hang-ups. I mean, I just gave you a start of things that I just can't do.
Any of the panel, any of the other panel got any other watch hang-ups? Orange Hand, you got any watch hang-ups?
Yeah, for sure. Fotina, I can't do it. It feels anything that is trying to be something that it's not. I can't get on board with at all. And even I have to say, like, vintage reissues now, as much as I love them, the one concern I have about them is that I find that will I one day spend if spending a lot of money on a vintage reissue, will I one day look at it and say, like, I've bought an imitation of something?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And will like, I keep wondering, like, will vintage reissues, like, what do you call them when they become vintage?
Mm-hmm.
Is it like a vintage reissue? So those are the two things that I have hangups about. But I love, like, for that reason, I love the way that they did the your Zenith El Primero, with no Fotina, and I love the way they did the first Omega in space, because they feel a little bit more like they're not trying so hard. So yeah, those are my hangups.
You got any, James? Showcase? You got any watch hangups?
Yeah, I released a video yesterday, a bit controversial, and it was basically covering the branding of watches and the laziness that goes into some brands when they're. If you take Rolex of old, when you used to buy a GMT Master, you'd open the box, there'd be a pamphlet in there that showed you all about the watch and showed you how cool the watch was and why it was a good product, and they put the effort in. And it bugs me a little bit now that you're spending sort of 10 grand on a watch, and all you get is a box and a warranty card, and you know what I mean. Back in the day, purchasing a watch was something very, very special, and it came in. It was packaged. It was packaged well. It was presented well. I just feel that a lot of watch brands have turned a little bit lazy over the years. I'm an Amiga guy, as you guys know, but if you look at the Amiga Speedmaster Professional, you get the big boxes,
don't they? Yeah.
You get all the bumps. I've just purchased the 1957 Seamaster reissue, and that has the little booklet in there telling you about the watch and its history. And I think that's a lost art. I think it's a lost art, and I think a lot of watch companies have turned a bit lazy to their. It's just not as special as it was. Put it that way.
Thomas, I was going to ask, what do you think about? I think somebody touched on about the modern Rolex. They're no longer going to be collector's pieces in terms of how they look in 20 years' time. They're going to look exactly the same, aren't they?
I think it's I've fallen out of love with modern Rolex. I mean, I've got the Batman and I've got the Submariner, and I've fallen out of love with them a little bit because I do like patina. I do like to see a watch age. I do like to see a bit of patina, and I just feel it's something that I said that I don't think ceramic's here to stay. I think they'll revert back to some sort of a scratchless metal. I don't think ceramic's here to stay.
That would be nice. Yeah.
I'm the complete opposite. Like, I see patina and I'm like, well, that's damaged.
I love patina, and I think that. I think the Rolex will always be collectible. It'll always have a vintage following. I think as the years go on, they'll keep bringing out models and discontinuing them, and there'll always be a collector's market for the Rolex models, I think.
Yeah, and James, the thing about modern Rolex and ceramic, you always have to remember that the enthusiasts are a very tiny market for these companies, and obviously that's different for certain companies, right? If you go to Dibiton or if you go to Paddock, right, the enthusiasts are a larger segment of their customer base. But for Rolex, I'm pretty sure if you would ask everybody that's buying those million watches that they make every year, right? A lot of them probably prefer to have a watch that's going to stay mint for a long time. So and the other thing about the ceramics and everything else and the dials, everybody says they're going to look the same forever. We haven't had those forever yet.
Right. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows, right? The hands are definitely not going to stay the same for the next 50 years. And again, I think a lot of people do like to have a watch that looks good for a long time.
I think if you look at 50 years into the future, I think the super case is going to be something that's going to be quite desirable by a lot of people, because I think looking at Rolex, they're now retreating a little bit. They've gone out of they went out of the pre-ceramic 40mm into the super case. I think they've then realised that the super case isn't for everybody, and they're retreating back a little bit, and and now they've trimmed down the Batgirl, they've trimmed down the Pepsi. I think there's rumour that they're going to trim down the Submariner. So I think the super case is getting trimmed back down again, and I think the super case is going to be something that in history, in years to come, I think I think it's going to be quite popular.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it's so on the Batman. I like the super case, but if we were to, let's say, get a Bluesy, I do not want the super case on a Bluesy. So I think it kind of changes with the actual watch.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of people prefer the pre-ceramic Bluesy over the new ceramic one.
There's that too.
So,
just back to the watch hang-ups. Have you got any, Matt? Have you got any watch hang-ups yourself?
I suppose I really want to discuss about the divers more on that. Really.
Oh yeah, the divers and stuff. What about yourself then, Zippo? Have you got any watch hang-ups? Things you don't like about watches?
It's a little bit very specific, but the Omega Speedmaster Professional, the secondhand, covering up the Omega logo.
Oh, right. So second-hand covering up logos.
Yeah.
Oh, as much as I absolutely love the Speedmaster, we could talk a lot about hang-ups with that watch. How doesn't it hack?
Yeah.
What about you?
I think the Speedmaster is it's a watch that's been a victim of its own success for a long time, right? They almost can't change a lot of things because it's got to stay the same. It has to look the same. And that's why I think that some of the automatics, the coaxials, right, like the special editions, things like that, are probably much better watches than the Moon watch.
A good one. He can't get watches he wants.
Right.
That's his watch hang-up.
Yeah.
The watch guy had some good watch hang-ups earlier.
Megan, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, good night, Megan. Thank you.
Good night, Megan. Good night.
Hey,
and that's something. You got any watch hang-ups?
I mean, I've talked about the Cyclops many times.
Yeah.
I like almost every watch, really. So I don't have that many hang-ups. I think size has always been something, right? Like I like Panerais, but they're just a little bit too big for me. But my biggest hang-up by far is watches trying to sell themselves as something they're not, right? Like, that brand that makes all those shiny watches that with fake tourbillon and things that move, right? If you're going to make like a watch and call it the Astronomia or whatever, make it so that there's actually astronomy behind it, behind the movement, not just like a jewel that rotates like every 60 minutes or something. I just don't like watches that are pretending to be something that they're not. Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and Wisconsin watch guy says his biggest hang-up is that he can't hoard and possess watches he wants.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I think that we should probably wrap this up. We don't want to break ID Guy's record for a 5-hour live stream.
Yeah.
3 hours is plenty.
And it was the ID guys. It's been a pleasure having you on the stream.
Yes, thank you, ID Guy, for being here.
Joining us. It's been lovely to have you in the chat.
Yeah, everybody.
Everyone in the chat. It's been great to have you. Give us a thumbs if you can. That'd be lovely.
Yep.
Exactly. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks to everyone for joining us. 73 Math Orange Hand Showcase.
Thanks a lot.
Great to
A lot
have
of
you.
ideas to run some contests so we could get those 5 watches out to you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come up with some ideas if you can, guys, and we'll to how we can what sort of competition you'd like. If you do, we want to get people on the stream, so it's going to be something involving people on the stream. So whether it be them talking about their collections or submitting photographs or something like that.
Yeah, watch book review or
watch book review. Yeah,
the reviews of watch collections of people that we know in the chat.
We'd love to do more watch reviews. We'd love to do more watch reviews. So if you want
too.
If you want to leave a comment in the chat, we can get in touch with you via email, and that'd be great.
Yep. So stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned. We got giveaways coming up.
Underachieving. I'll put the Elle McPherson photo in the Discord for you.
Good on you, Orange Hand. Thank you.
And we'll see you all in the Discord.
Yep.
Right,
Thanks everyone.
Guys.
Thanks
See
for
you
that.
later.
Yeah,
Yep.
Take care, everybody.
See you
Catch you
next
guys later.
Sunday, guys.
Take care of yourselves.
Take care.